I just told Brittany that I think I do too much talking, and I don't want y'all thinking I beat her feet.
And I proceeded to say that he normally is better at introductions, and I have a voice, but I just lean on you.
Now, when we sit with couples,
I do most of the talking. In counseling sessions.
Yeah, when it counts.
Or one-on-one, yeah, I do a lot of talking.
All right, so we back. This is episode 18.
Okay.
Shout out to everybody who has subscribed since our last episode. Liked, followed.
Yes, shared.
We have a couple of things coming down the pipe here soon. Yes. So make sure that you follow our journey. Anything interesting happened this week with you?
Lots of storms.
The
weather was crazy.
You talking about outside or inside?
Outside.
Oh, okay. I think you must storm.
Tornado warnings and watches and all of that.
So we have it's been a very pleasant season, ups and downs, but we are committed to making sure through a positive, maybe even possibly any negatives, to make sure we sit on this couch, either one podcast, two locations. Y'all seen some of the pictures of our upcoming studio endeavor. Yeah. So make sure you stay tuned. I told you to make sure you have your pedicure done. If you need a neck brace, you might want to put one of those on because
we're gonna knock your socks off.
A neck brace.
Oh, okay, I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
Can you break it? Yeah. Neck break.
I thought you said the pedicure.
Yeah, I did, but I was trying to add another one to it. We'll work on it next time.
Oh, okay.
So,
sorry.
Let me think if there's any. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, let me tell y'all a story. Not really a story. I can't. That's a little. Okay. I really, her not so much, me so much. I'm really trying to warm y'all up because there's some topics, there's some things that I really want to say, that we need to say, that we need to have a conversation about. But I'm gonna give y'all one more episode before we get hot.
Let me give y'all a disclaimer. He is literally just a genuine good guy. So whenever he talks about subjects that he thinks will make someone else uncomfortable, he's hesitant to go into them. I'll just talk to y'all about anything because I feel like anything that's happening in the earth should be discussed, whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, so you know exactly how to navigate through those places.
Now, if you sit on this couch with us and we talking, there's no holds bar. Yeah. So I think I should tell them, one of the things that we're going to do is you're going to be able to schedule a consultation with one of us through a set time. You'll register and I think about 45 minutes, and you'll be able to ask us a question in a private setting, either Zoom or FaceTime or something like that. So you can have a real question and answer session to get a different perspective on a situation with you, your spouse, or the person that you're thinking about. If you're dating someone and you want to know if there's any potential red flags that you might be seeing, sex is a really utilized tool that can help people disregard red flags.
I was gonna say, it's helping people do what?
Oh yeah.
It's helping people run red lights.
run red lights, avoid red flags. So
caution ahead, they just going full speed. It's like, whoa, it said caution, you might want to hit them brakes, baby.
So when we offer it, when we set it up, when we get the word out, let someone know, even if you might not need it, someone that you may know may want a different perspective from someone that they don't know, or someone that you trust. So word of mouth is key in this hour that we're living in. So let's get started. Let me tell y'all this before we begin. I think that it is important. What you thought I was gonna drop a bomb or something?
I don't know.
Grabbing your pearls.
Right, let me see.
Exhale. I think that it is important, do you as well, that you should appreciate the person that you're with.
I do think that's very important.
I think that if your man smell good, if your woman smell good, you should tell him, you should tell her. If they looking right in them jeans, if they looking right in them sweatpants, if they looking right in whatever you think they looking right in, or haircut, or hairdo, that we should appreciate the person that we're with.
verbally appreciate.
Come on now, I was
Because
waiting.
there
on
are
you.
people
I can't hear you.
that will speak on your behalf
Where's my
and have you
microphone
feeling
at?
some kind of way. You don't need no microphone.
So
I mean, the way I smell my husband, I know when he's out and about in this world, other people are smelling him and complimenting
okay,
him on
because
that.
I love to smell. Now my smell good is we talked about this the other. I don't know if we want to get into it.
Go ahead.
My smell good is come from a traumatic experience. So I overly apply my. I got to be smelling good. I don't
Yeah.
believe it's right here smelling like work floor and
Right.
monkey bars. But
Even that's good though, because if you know your partner has a trauma response that's making them do what they're doing, your affirmation is even more important.
oh, we about to get into it. You about to come on. You right on. You on the script right here.
Okay. Well,
Now,
let me know.
if let's say if I'm not telling you that you're looking good,
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody say it's a mighty poor frog that won't praise their own pond.
Uh-huh.
So we've dealt with this. We've talked to couples who have experienced this,
Yeah.
where if words of affirmation
Mhm.
is the
Person's love language.
person's love language, and you're not giving it to them because you're upset with them or because you don't notice it, or we take for granted
Yeah.
that you just know I think you look good.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that person leaves the home, male or female, female or female, male or male, make no difference. And their tank in that particular area is low,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody around the corner
Fills it up.
can fill it up till it overflows.
You're in trouble. My friend,
Okay.
you are in trouble.
I'm
That's
just-
a warning sign.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Okay, exactly. You are in trouble, and you need to be keenly aware that whoever is filling that tank is gonna get that person's attention.
They get all the glory.
Okay,
So,
and it don't matter what they look like.
oh, come on.
Let me just say that,
Let me
okay?
scoot over.
It don't matter if they fatter than you. It don't matter if they uglier than you. If they are meeting that person's need, baby, they gonna have their full attention.
Whoever's filling the tank,
Okay.
whoever, it's just
They
like
can
now
have a
when
dirty shirt on,
Okay.
not have a
neck
fresh
all stretched
haircut,
out, it don't
not
matter.
have their hair done, wearing a bonnet.
It's like domestic violence when someone calls 9. Whoever gets to the phone first, the other person's going to jail. That's what Mike said.
I'm not.
So
I don't agree
I don't
with that
believe
statement,
that.
y'all.
Yeah, you do.
I do not.
Listen, I don't believe that people have a type.
Yeah. That's
I believe people got a preference.
mm-hmm.
I prefer chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's got cookies and cream in there, that's my second
He gonna
choice.
still eat it the same.
So I have a preference.
And if somebody got vanilla bean, he gonna still eat it the
It's
same.
homemade. I'm just telling you.
Cause see, if he wants something sweet, he gonna get that
Okay,
need.
okay,
met.
this is the last point. This is how it looks. Lord, we starting good. We starting going 30 minutes a night. You ever been hungry and look in the refrigerator and there's nothing in there you want? And then about 15 minutes later, you go back to the same refrigerator
and you figure something out because you was hungry.
But you got to downgrade. Okay, I didn't want nothing left over, so let me see. And then you.
You be like, oh, those leftovers look real good right now.
So when you
and I can
starving-
just sprinkle a little extra seasoning on it and make it like new.
Okay, so when you're starving,
When you starving,
if you're starving,
you're gonna do what you need to do to be fed. It's called a need.
Have you ever hooked up with somebody when you were starving, and after you got full, you was like, I don't know why I was eating on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to know if he's gonna be honest. Me as well. I'm not gonna talk about nobody else. But all we're
I feel
saying,
like all of us, if we be
Okay, I'm
honest,
just saying.
but you know, okay.
we don't want to talk about history. We want to talk about history.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's talk tonight. We're gonna call this "Can You See Me?"
Okay.
We're gonna call this "Can."
I like that.
Look into my eyes and tell me what it is. So appreciate that person that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't appreciate them, now sometimes I think it's good when someone on the outside
Mm-hmm.
gives the person who's starving in the relationship just a little indication. It ain't crossing no boundaries.
Right.
Oh, you smell good today. So, somebody told me, they said, well, I said, you didn't change detergents. I said, it's all credit. All
And this is my face. I said, sir, I keep your clothes clean for a reason.
God,
I don't need other people input.
Oh God, it's hot. So I think that it's good because sometimes we can sleep on who we've been with.
Right.
And just because I've been with you 17 years.
Okay, it's not an excuse.
And I know you're from head to toe. I know how many freckles is on your face. Glory. I know how many. So if I let her leave the house and I never compliment what I've already complimented and somebody else it's the same body, but it's new to them. It's a new face to them. It's a new femininity to them, especially if they starving. So I think it is important that we remind couples that even though you may not be head over heels over the individual right now, maybe they're getting on your nerves right now, please believe there is somebody in your city, there's somebody in your state, in your neighborhood, at the same job as them, at the same gym as them, at the same dentist office as them.
They will take them with all of their current crazy and love the socks off of them.
Okay. Oh, that's all I'm trying to tell you.
It's just the reality.
One man's trash
is another's treasure.
And another woman's trash
is another woman's treasure.
Somebody would love to have that little 5-1.
And can I just say this? Let me make a disclaimer. This is not an excuse. Like for a person to stay raggedy, it's really not. But what we're saying is still be thankful and grateful and appreciative of what you have, because it really goes a long way when you're wanting someone to make changes and to make adjustments. If they can say, okay, wait, this person has loved me, affirmed me, supported me, been here with me. So now if they're bringing a grievance to me, let me pause and really look at that, because I know it has some validity, because you always encouraging me and building me up. So now if you're telling me, okay, wait, if you do this and this, it could really make this relationship be better, I'm going to definitely consider it.
Boom.
Okay, go ahead.
If you care. Yeah.
If you care, that's true.
So,
and if you really want to be there, and if you're not trying to sabotage the relationship to get out in the first place.
Now you just trying to throw me off. I ain't going to do it.
He asked me to talk, so I'm talking, y'all.
I'm staying on. That's right. I did appreciate you. So can you see me? You want to tell the thought? Let me set you up. So, we found something out in talking with one another, talking to couples, and assisting them, and just talking to couples who we're in relationship with. And this is something that we kind of came up with as an aha moment. A lot of what we have talked about in these 17 podcast episodes, it really can be summed up in this thought: that I need to be able to see you, and you need to be able to see me as our Creator sees us.
Right.
I need to see you as God sees you.
Right.
And you need to see me as God sees me.
Right.
Tell us why that is important. And then we're going to talk about some of the reasons why that doesn't happen.
So if I take the time to see him how God sees him, that means I'm removing all of my own personal expectations, feelings, thoughts, past traumas. And I'm just saying, okay, who are you as an individual? What's your history? What have you been through that got you to this place called now? Why are you maneuvering the way you're maneuvering? Why are you responding the way you're responding? So I'm really taking a moment to say, okay, I know this is how this looks on my side, but let me pause and just come to your side and look through your lens to see why you're feeling like this. So it could be a disagreement. Okay, well, why are you feeling attacked in this moment when I know I'm not trying to attack you? But if I pause and say, okay, wait, John is A, B, and C, and he's been through X, Y, and Z. Now I'm not going to take the same stance of being defensive, but instead I'm going to show you why I'm not trying to attack you, why I still am here and I'm not your enemy and I love you, but this is an area that we need work in. So then I'm able to disarm you, but I'm also able to not be offended by your response.
And that sounds so Christian.
Well, that's the point. You're supposed to bring your Christianity into the relationship.
Yeah, that sounds refined. That sounds like you done been through some stuff. That sounds like you done some work. But that ain't how it go.
This is true. We be acting the fool with each other.
Evangelist Mike Tyson said something some years ago. And he said, everybody has a plan.
Till they get hit.
Until they get hit in the jaw, till they get hit in the mouth. Then the plan goes out the window.
And we're not talking about literally hitting each other.
Oh, I forgot.
Because let's put the disclaimer. We do not support physical abuse of any type in a relationship. We're talking about taking jabs with your words, with your positions, with your stances, punishing people with silence, yelling and screaming at people, demanding unreasonable things. This is what we're talking about.
You said two things I can't forget. It's unforgettable.
Go ahead.
Silence, punishing with silence, shutting down, and going off. Same entity, just two different administrations.
Right.
That's just a side. That's a freebie. But you spoke of in the dialogue about what you just said, coming to my side to see it from my perspective.
Right.
I think that for a lot of us, we know that in theory. If the objective is reconciliation, if there's an issue or a disagreement on the table,
right,
in order for the conversation to move to a solution, at one point in time in the conversation or in the space of whenever this conversation is resolved, you're going to have to come to my side,
right,
and possibly I'm going to have to come to your side,
right,
and then we can come back and talk about what we've seen. But to your point, the reason why I said that you've had to do some work to be able to do that, because we've practiced that, is I cannot be, if you're going to do that, you cannot be arrested by your pain.
right.
One of the things that pain does is it freezes us in the moment, or whatever happened to us, we start rehearsing it.
You know what it's like?
What is it like?
If you fall and break your leg and you have a cast on, that cast would represent pain. That leg is not going to move like it's supposed to move until that cast is removed. So that injury has to be healed first so that the cast can be taken off so that you can use it like it's supposed to be used.
Now, since we speak of it, in order for that cast to be removed, subject, you, your spouse, whoever you are, we've got to be willing to acknowledge something happened to me in this area. We said it last episode, but it bears repeating. Anything that is hysterical is historical.
Absolutely.
Any response to a situation that is bigger than the event itself, it gives inclination, it gives suggestion that the response is a lot deeper, that the pain is a lot deeper.
Right.
So we've got to acknowledge first, to be ready to acknowledge first, something happened to me.
Right.
You are not my problem. If we had a live audience, I would have the audience say it. Say this to the person that you with. They are not my problem. The problem that exists, here it goes, in the relationship is a pre-existing issue in the individuals.
Right.
So watch this. This is something that we say in church.
That we brought into the relationship.
We brought it in.
Talking about we healed and ready to commit and settle down.
Come on, Freckles.
I can't tell you how many people I have heard that from. Oh, I'm just waiting on my person. But we haven't taken the time to heal what's broken in us. So we just want somebody else to be our fixer.
So we've said it. I've heard people say it in church. I've even asked people to say it in church. God healed the marriage. God fixed the marriage. Let me tell you what's wrong with that. Let me tell you the haze in that phraseology. When we say, I'm praying that God would heal my marriage, I'm praying that God would heal my relationship, we're saying it as if the problem or the pain in the relationship is not in us.
Right.
So it's as if there's some wand that can be waved over the individuals.
Some magical fairy dust
to fix it.
To just make us fall in love instead of
you have an issue.
Fixing my stuff and you fixing yours.
I have an issue. Right. It's not a hocus pocus.
Right.
I believe in God. No, there is work. There is healing, but I got to receive this healing.
Right.
So I think that I'm almost inclined to dislike a little bit couples counseling. Because when two people sit on the couch and they say, okay, what's going on? And they say, this is what's going on. I don't like when she did it. What we end up doing when we talk to couples, and you notice it, we end up separating. Okay, this is his problem. This is her problem. This is her problem. This is her problem. This is his problem. This is his problem. Y'all catch that later. And isolating the issue with the individual's history. Does that make sense?
It does. But I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. To me, couples counseling is important because they have been unable to see each other's history and each other's pain and each other's problems.
That's good.
So although we have two people sitting on the couch, but we're counseling them individually, we're able to use live events that have gone on in their relationship and then walk them through why each person was triggered. And that's just something you're not going to see in a one-on-one session, because here's the truth about humanity. We like to only give our side of the story, not the story.
Okay.
So that's why I like both people to be present, because I'll ask, okay, well, what's the issue? And, they'll bring it up. And then I go to the other person. Do you agree with that? Or do you have more to add in? And they normally have a different version of the story.
Completely different.
But both sides of the story is really speaking to the trauma of that person. Yeah. So I'm always interested to hear both sides, because they're really telling me what's broken. And then I'm able to isolate it and help.
Yeah.
So
both serve their purpose. I think that...
But some people... Another disclaimer. Some people still need one-on-one therapy outside of couples counseling because the pain and the trauma is so deep that you're not going to ever be able to fully work it through with the other person there.
Yeah, that's good. So if I can see you the way that your creator sees you, you said it earlier, when we get upset, we start dealing with that individual based on how we feel about them. And let's say you hurt me, and that triggers a past hurt in my life. I could handle her. And this is common in relationships, especially early on. I start handling the individual that I'm with based on a previous injury. The danger in that is that this person that I'm sitting next to, my love, if I damage her heart, not only does she have to love me with that heart, but she also is in relationship with our children. She's got to love them with that heart. She's got to love her sister with that heart. She's got to love her niece, her nephew. So she's more than just my wife. And I think that when we're in our pain and we are lashing out and we're trying to get our point across in any manner that we can, and
when we're trying to win
an argument, that we're injuring an individual based on how we feel about them.
Right.
But if we get God's perspective concerning that individual, then we'll handle them differently.
Right.
So it's
called grace and mercy.
Come on,
that's what it's called. Grace and mercy. So, we are all in need of it.
So if I go to the Creator, if I go to God and ask him, what about this situation? Usually he's going to talk about me first.
Absolutely.
But when I get to
I've told God on you a whole bunch of times. And then God started talking to me about me.
So what he will do eventually in that dialogue is he will, if he can trust us with the information, there is a beautiful place. And we want to say this to every couple who's watching this that might be in the storm stage. Go and watch episode 1. Who's in a storm stage in your relationship. And that is that if you can be trusted with the information, there is a place of beautiful harmony in your relationship that God can trust you with the code to that individual that you're married to, that you're in relationship with. And he can and share with you, along with that person that you're with, this is what happened to me.
Right.
And this is why when you don't answer the phone when I call, I go crazy. I blow you up. Is because I was left. Someone dropped me. This is the reason why I like things to be done a certain way. This is the reason. What's one of y'all? Give me I can't think of another example.
Oh, I can give you an example.
What?
Of a hysterical response that was really history.
Is it on me or on you?
We have said this before in a previous episode.
Okay. I'm on you.
You forgot, you were busy or tied up doing something when I got out of school, so you didn't come and get me on time. And I went off, y'all. I went off. And he was like, I'm only like 5 minutes late. I didn't mean to be like, he looking at me like,
I was throwing
like, what is all of this about? But it really happened to me. In middle school, I got left and they didn't even know they left me. Like I was there for hours. I had to like leave school property, find another business that was open. asked to use a phone to call and be like, hey, are y'all coming to get me? And they was like, oh, we forgot. And then had to wait for them to get in the car and come and get me. So the reaction to him was really triggered by an unhealed spot from my past. And that's really how it happens when we're engaging one another.
Now I can know that. Let's say if she told me that, hey, back when I was in middle school, I was left by my caregiver and they left me there for hours. I can hear that, but not know where to slot that in real time when it's running. So just because, let's say
how deep it goes,
or how it affected you.
Because sometimes we tell truths, but we say it light, or we're like laughing at it like it's not a big deal, although it caused us a lot of pain.
And just because someone told you, just because you told that person, just because you told them a couple of times, it doesn't mean that they heard it, nor does it mean they know where to slot it at.
Yeah.
So when we're in a pain crisis and when we're just living and we're just bumping uglies and we're just making love and we're just having kids and going out to eat and going on trips, and we're just living and not really talking about what we feel and why we feel what we feel. Okay, I'm nervous. I told her today, I said, I'm angry today. She said, well, what? Tell me. And so we went to talk about what during the day happened to bring me to that emotion.
Yeah.
So why that's so important is, number one, time together. We had a lunch date. But number two, if something happens later on in the evening, if something happens with me later on in the week and it's an angry response, she can go back to what I tracked it to the origin of it and say, okay, this is why he's angry today. So when she encounters it or sees it or observes it, she can help me walk through it if I'm not able to walk myself through it in that moment, if I'm arrested. So can you see me? I really feel like, and you tell me if you agree or disagree, I really feel like building doesn't really begin until we can see the other like God sees the other.
Totally agree.
Even if it's a beginning stage, because you got strengths and I have strengths, and they're different. You have weaknesses. I have weaknesses that are different than one another. And so what we find out with couples that we talk to and even ourselves is that the enemy does a superb job of using strengths against weaknesses and strengths against weaknesses and making them fight to get the man out of the home or to get the woman out of the home.
Or just to break the family.
Because, last point. Explain, we were talking about this last week. You remember when we talked about the goal of using history to get one or two of the individuals out of the home. Like, explain that a little bit on why
which piece
that's so key. So, dang, I wish I could call that. So, if the enemy can use my pain, if he can use my trauma to push her out of the home, if he can use her trauma and her pain to push me out of the home, what happened in our childhoods only repeats.
It then happens in our children.
It repeats with our children. So all I'm saying is I think that we should zoom out and not just look at the problem in our relationship, but really see that it happened with your mama and your daddy. If you investigate, it happened with your grandma, your granddaddy, and it's the same trick, same plan. The scripture says that there's nothing new under the sun. And so if the plan worked 3 generations ago,
it's gonna still try to work with you.
The plan never loses power. And so we need the blood.
And you just have to be aware. Like, I feel like it's so important to be aware of your own history. Sometimes, like for me, it was independence. I was so fixated on, I want to be independent. I want to be independent. I want to be self-sufficient. I don't want to have to depend on anybody. That to come into a relationship with that train of thought was like anti-relationship. I mean,
So that was a key barrier.
Yes, it was a huge blocker for me seeing you just as what you were, because I was so focused on independence, self-sufficient. I don't need nobody. Because if I don't need nobody, then can't nobody hurt me, can't nobody let me down, can't nobody reject me. See, those are all the back thoughts that were behind it. So like on the surface, it seems fine. Oh, what's wrong with being an independent woman?
Yeah, it's in the water.
But the issue is, unless you plan on spending your life alone, there's a lot of issues with being an independent woman because we are in need of others. We need community. We need relationships. So being able to care for yourself is fine. That doesn't mean that you have to be independent or all one. You can still be healthy in relationships.
Now, we don't have time to get into it, but we do know where that independence came from systematically, don't we? With women, especially in the Black culture, the Black man being removed from the home and the adaptation that the woman had to come up with to, what's the word I'm looking for, supplement the absence of a man in the home because he was removed out of the home. We got crack. We have child support. We can go through all of these different things that have happened during just Black culture as to why now currently in our culture, Black women not predominantly, but a lot are saying, I don't need a man. So that didn't just happen when it happened to you.
Right.
That was something that happened down
Generations
through the
ago.
years and generations. And so we could even deal with the slave trade when husbands and wives were ripped from their families and separated. And so this goes very much deeper than just what happened to you.
Absolutely.
This is generational. And so
even on a genetic level though.
Ooh, okay, come on,
They
nurse.
talk about how our genes will modify to accommodate to the environment we're in. So even that feeling of we have to be all one, you know, it goes so deep. I'm not even gonna go there. But
so you say yours was independence. Mine was insecurity. Because my father, we talked about this earlier, the man not being in the home and the trickle effect that it has when a father is not present in the home, there are repercussions that are the result of that. And so how it showed up in our relationship is because my father missed some key moments in my formative years in growing up that his affirmation wasn't there. And so one of the things that fathers do is they provide identity. They show their children that it can be done, and this is the way that it can be done, and then affirm that child, particularly that son, in his gifting, in his area. And so she processes fast. I process. My therapist said, don't that sound good? Therapist said to say that it's analytical. It's not a slow process, but it's analytical. So I need information and I need time to gather all of the things that are happening in the conversation, in the storyline, so that when I come to my conclusion, it's well thought out, it's well spoken, it's articulate. But y'all don't want me speaking fast. You don't want me. If I ever get called to court on your behalf, you do not want me standing. We need to have a rehearsal. Judge, we need to rehearse this. You don't want me standing in the courtroom. If you got a drug charge, do not.
He gonna be chewing his nails.
Oh no.
Now you asking me what? And it's gonna look like he don't know what he's talking about, but he really do. He just taking it all in.
They gonna have to give me. I'm gonna be drinking all that courtroom water. They gonna have my mouth dry.
That room temperature water.
That courtroom water is room temperature dry. So mine was insecurity, and so because that affirmation from my father was not there, I thought that I didn't possess strength. And I thought that because TV came from a lot of my examples of what family was, I just knew that my strength was supposed to show up the way that it showed up on TV. So when I married a woman who is strong and who is quick, and I'm analytical, I was like, oh no, you're not, I'm supposed to be louder. You ain't supposed to be hollering, you ain't supposed to be talking with your hands. So that really was a barrier. I mean, a really deep barrier. And I had no clue when I first got married on where that came from and why it was. I just knew that it pissed me off. I just knew that I didn't like you talking to me with your hands, because that meant that you want to fight. Well, you want to do that, we can do that. But as I got healed and understood my history, I was able to understand and receive healing on what I did not receive, receive it, and then in turn, come back to our relationship and see your strength as a positive and as an asset to our relationship. Now, the scripture says that two is better than one.
Right.
I think that's what it said. So it really does no good to be in a relationship, independent, isolated, on your own soapbox.
Right.
Because the scripture says that man is supposed to leave father and mother and cleave to his wife. But if we remain under the same roof, in the same bed, but separate, we just swapping fluids, but we're still single-minded.
Some people are not even doing that.
Okay, I can't. That's
Sorry,
another. Okay, come on. You want episode 19? You want?
I'm just saying. I mean, some people are just
I'm trying to
roommates
be here. Yeah,
with the same last name, and that's sad.
Good sex, bad relationship.
But some people are no sex,
no
bad
sex,
relationship.
Now listen. No, since you got me started, my to cut this off. Now I can do for a little bit. Good. I can do. Wait a minute. Hold on. No, I gotta get it out. I can't do bad relationship and no sex.
Right.
You gonna have me around here full and angry? Ooh. No, I can't be both. What? Sexless and arguing all the time. Do you know that is a recipe for separation? That's a recipe for divorce. That's a recipe for something on the side. That's a recipe for two on the side. That is not good. Okay. Let me just. Woo!
We're going to have to give him an episode to give a man's perspective on why it is not good.
It's just not good. If you wouldn't tell me, oh,
come on, if I wouldn't tell
I can't. I'm not going to do it.
You should give him, just give him.
Okay, let's give you one. Okay. This episode is over. This is after party.
This is bonus information. We'll elaborate more at a later date.
So, I don't want to speak for every man. I just want to speak for the man that agree with what I'm saying. Can I do that? Can I just speak for that? Because every man might not say, nah, preacher, you on your own. I'm standing on business tonight. I'm sitting on business tonight.
This is true.
Okay, so this is how it goes in I can't say I mean, I want to tell myself. So if I got an itch on my back and I was at the house and she didn't scratch it, and I'm out in the public space, I'm at the gym, and this female bears with long nails that just looking for something to scratch, and I just happen to have my back close to a female bear, and she scratched. This is humanity speaking. I'm going to go and gravitate to what meets my need, even if it's illegal, even if it's forbidden, even if they're going to sit me down if they find out, even if she going to go off if she find out, even if she go through my phone and she see the news, whatever, however it comes up, in the moment, it doesn't matter. This is the reason why people have work wives and work husbands. Okay, you used to hate the job. They ain't give you no raise. They ain't give you no promotion. They ain't not giving you no more extra PTO. Ooh. Why are you smelling good all of a sudden going to work? You ain't been to therapy. You ain't got no healing. You ain't been in the altar. You just woke up one day and all of a sudden now you want to start getting a haircut. You just woke up one day and all of a sudden want to start ironing your clothes. What's going on with you? I'm telling you what might be going on. Somebody might have figured
out your code before your spouse did.
I was gonna say really.
I know.
So now you want me to all I'm saying is this
is just bonus.
Listen,
how to break it down.
She may not come close. She may not look as good as you. Their stomach may be bigger than yours. Oh God. Her wig may be crooked. She may not get her eyelashes done, but that thing she do, and it may not even be in the bed. It just may be the way that she says, "Oh, it's good to see you today." And if he's starving, he gonna say, "Oh God, I'm just gonna position myself to hear that feminine."
Because he wants to be seen, just like you want to be seen.
It's a need. That's all I'm saying. So
to be seen and acknowledged in a relationship is a need. That's why we got with somebody. Because you saw me.
Okay.
Who and what I am.
You had some pants on. Now that I think about it, it was just these material. These are for the house.
It's not. They were not
Oh,
this
God,
material.
please
They
let me.
were not. But go ahead.
And that thing was just swishing and swashing that shirt. And I said, at church? I need to get to know.
He is
I mean, that thing was just swishing and swashing and oh, wait. I thought somebody was midgets was in there. Wash your toes in there.
You are a nut.
You know, you put some tennis shoes in the
First of all, while he's saying all of this, he came looking for it.
I did. I knew what I came to a women's conference on Women's Night. I know what I
And
come
I was
from.
just thinking that I was safe with
Smelling
my
good.
fellow sisters.
Okay, yeah, you just be at the front of the church with your pants on, let them shoes in the dry, do this work. But I ain't gonna say but and in my clothes, people. This goes for the female as well. Doesn't matter who you in relationship with. People need their needs met.
Right.
And just because you got God, Jesus, the Holy Ghost, Buddha, Allah, whoever you serve, whoever you worship, when you are starving for something and that need is not met, it is just a matter of time. If you are in the vicinity of something or a thing or whatever that can meet that need,
right,
that is going to be met.
Right.
So,
like for a woman, if you talking to me,
okay, come on, get perspective.
Okay, so at work, if somebody is talking to me every day, acknowledging me, how was your day? What's going on? With, appreciating and seeing me.
You're so smart.
But at home, I'm not receiving that. I'm just receiving criticism nonstop. Well, then he can't be mad if I'm focusing my energy over here.
Now you can want to be mad, and you can get mad, but that ain't fixing the problem.
The issue.
That's not fixing. Okay, I'm thirsty. We've got some more conversation to have with y'all, as you can tell. But until the meantime, we need you to know one thing. Marriage is for grown folks.
Bye.